You can update these Hexagon end tables and make them look really nice. I usually pass them over, but they actually end up pretty cute once we're finished. So let's do just that. Before we can dive into the fun part, painting and staining, we need to make sure our end table is prepped and ready for a makeover. Don't skip this part because it will make a huge difference in the end result. The first step is to clean the table thoroughly. I used crud cutter and a damp rag to remove any dirt, grease, or grime that may have built up over time. After that, I had to sand the top of the table down to bare wood because the finish was all uneven and messed up. You should sand before painting furniture to smooth out any imperfections and make even a paint job look better if your furniture is all scratched up. While doing so, I compared two different sanders, the Festool Rotex 125 sander and the Festool RTS 400 REQ sander. The Rotex 125 sander was way faster at sanding, taking about half the time of the RTS 400 REQ. It is a beast of a sander, and I can't wait to use it to remove a finish from our larger piece. It's going to be so nice to just sand off a finish so much faster. Once sanding was done, I used a tack cloth to get rid of any dust before moving on. After that, I brought the table outside and gave it a couple of coats of clear shellac. This step is important because it helps the paint stick better and stops stains from coming through paint. And then I let the shellac dry overnight. Now for the fun part, painting. I gave the base, legs, and bottom shelf of the end table 2 coats of Lily Moon paint in this gorgeous sage gray color called Magnolia Garden. I used a Wise Owl oval paintbrush to apply the paint, and I found that lightly misting the paint with water helped prevent brush marks and helped it dry smoother. But honestly, it didn't leave too many brush marks without the water, so if you just want to skip the water with this paint, you totally can. 2 coats of paint did the trick, covering everything perfectly. For more information on this paint brand, check out our Lily Moon paint review on our website. I wasn't sure if I should paint or stain the top of the table, but in the end, I decided to stain it instead of painting it green. I used another Lily Moon paint product, their gel stain in the color Old Fashioned. It's a medium-toned grayish brown that complements the green perfectly. To start, I had to remove some paint residue that I got on the top while painting the base of the table because I wasn't super careful. I used the Festool Rotex 125 sander to sand it off with fine grit 220 grit sandpaper. But holy moly, that paint was stuck on there good, even though it had only been on there for a week. So after that, I'm pretty impressed that this paint didn't sand off super quickly. That tells me that it's pretty awesome stuff. I cleaned up the dust from sanding with the vacuum hose and a tack cloth. Then I lightly sprayed some water on the top to slow down the absorption of the gel stain into the raw wood. I brushed the gel stain onto the surface in the direction of the wood grain and quickly wiped it away with a lint-free rag, following the direction of the wood grain. I worked really quickly here to avoid any uneven patches, but it still looked a little bit spotty for me, and I even accidentally got some of the gel stain onto the green paint, so that's fun. Anyway, after letting the gel stain dry for a few hours, I came back and lightly sanded over it using medium grit 1/2-inch foam pad. The goal was just to even out the spotty finish and give it a smoother feel, since water-based products can raise the grain on the wood and make it feel rough. I cleaned off the dust and sprayed more water on top. Then I applied a very light coat of gel stain on the top, again brushing it with the wood grain, but this time I didn't wipe it away because it was just a very thin coat. Then I let it dry for a day or so before I came back to this project. Remember the gel stain that got onto the green paint? Well, I painted over it using a small paintbrush, being extra careful not to get any paint onto the stained top. I did also use some of this yellow frog tape for delicate surfaces to help keep the paint off of the stain. To wrap up this makeover, I sprayed 3 coats of water-based polyurethane in a satin finish all over the table. This will help protect the paint and the stain, making it easier to clean and prevent scratches and dings. The gel stain itself does technically have a built-in top coat, But for a heavily used piece of furniture like an end table, it's always a good idea to add some extra protection. So here's what it looked like before, and here's what it looks like now. Our Hexagon end table makeover was a success, and I couldn't be happier with the results. It's honestly always amazing what a little paint and stain can do to transform a piece of furniture. So I hope this tutorial has inspired you to give your own end table a makeover and add some green to your home. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons to see more of our videos. It really helps us get word out about our videos, and it helps us out so much. So thank you so much. Want to turn your hobby into cash? Click the link in my comments to download the free pricing guide that we use to buy and sell furniture.